Man, thank God for Keandre Miller. What would you have done if they would have lost that game last night at like 1 in the morning? Currently, I think I'd probably still be screaming, but this video would have come out last night and it would have been a lot of screaming. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Rangers, and I'm here to talk about Game 8 of the regular season, where the Rangers win 4-3 in overtime over the Vancouver Canucks in a mess of a game, and there's no good way to put it. This was not the most well put together game by the New York Rangers. That was easily the worst game the Rangers have played and won. They looked fundamentally not how they have to this point of the season. And, I mean, I can see why. This is the fourth game of a West Coast road trip. They've been on the road for like almost 2 weeks at this point, which means they also haven't slept in their own beds in 2 weeks. It's been nothing but travel all over the Pacific Northwest and Canada. I can see how they could have lost this game. And they didn't look like they were lackadaisical. They were just... There's a difference between not caring and just tired. They were tired. And you could see that. I could have seen how this game could have gone the other way. And had they would have lost, I would have been irritated that it would have taken me till, 1 in the morning to watch them lose the game in overtime. But I could see how that could have happened. Now, again, I'm not going to try to spin this in some way and say, oh, well, by them playing bad, it was actually a good thing, because it wasn't. But I am going to talk about why I don't think it's the worst thing the game played out the way it did. We'll get to that in a minute. And in regulation, the Rangers were dirty, nasty little power play gremlins. They got all 3 of their goals on the power play, and 2 of them were on 5-on-3 advantages. That should tell you everything you possibly need to know about this game of Ragnar's hockey, baby. First goal, Artemi Panarin catches Casey DeSmith leaning and immediately goes, oh, free goal, and scores it, a laser. By God, Bald Panarin would have scored 200 points in 1920. He is that good. He's looked unbelievable to this point. Another multi-point game last night. I don't get me wrong. I liked the long hair. But this is a sacrifice that I think is worth it. Then you go to the second period, JT Miller on a power play. This was very similar to Panarin, just waiting until the goaltender had a lot of traffic in front of him, fires one on net, it gets in, they tie it up at 1 apiece, and then we move to the third period, which is where the floodgates of weirdness broke wide the hell open. Because there was an 8-minute stretch where there were seemingly infinite penalties, 4 goals, and only 1 of them was at even strength. Rangers are on a power play, it's a double minor, Mika Zibanejad gets high-sticked and is bleeding. Side note, hockey is a really funny sport, because with everything else, if you see a player get hurt, and there's blood, you're like, oh no, that's so bad. In hockey, you're like, yeah, 4 minutes! Tyler Myers with a nice play in the neutral zone, carries into the offensive zone. 2-on-1 for the Canucks, while shorthanded, might I add. And Tyler Myers did a really good job faking the pass here. I think Shesterkin thought it was passed the whole way through. I think he was just starting to cheat a little bit to his blocker side. He shoots glove side. Really nice shot by Myers. Really good job with the fake. The Canucks take a lead shorthanded. But the Rangers get it right back on the same, kind of the same power play. I mean, it was the second part of the double minor, but on the same-ish power play. Madness on the power play as it winds down. Mika Zibanejad, a really nice job to keep the puck in. Artemi Panarin fires towards the net, but he's not going for a shot on goal. He's going to Adam Fox, waiting just to the right side of Casey DeSmith. Beautiful tip in, and the Rangers tie the game up. Then about a minute later, the Rangers are on another power play, and it's even more madness. They're just firing everything at the net. I believe it was Kreider for a shot, and then Trocheck gets a shot. DeSmith kind of clears it with his stick, but it would have been in his best interest not to do that, because he deflects it straight to Adam Fox. A no-look pass, just hoping to God someone's there, and someone was. Mika Zibanejad buries a power play goal, his first of the season. That's Mika's first goal. Like, he's had a really good season to this point. I've been very happy with Mika Zibanejad. That's his first goal. It was a beauty to bury it, and the Rangers somehow have a 3-2 lead that would last a couple of minutes. There's less than 5 minutes to go in the third period. Canucks are fighting in the zone for the puck. Hronek passes to Soucy out at the blue line, fires on net, and look at this. Just behold the sight that is this goal. Like, what do you want Shesterkin to do at that point? There are 6 people in front of him? Yeah, that's a goal. I'm not going to be particularly upset at Igor Shesterkin from that. He had some beautiful saves leading up to this point in the game. Honestly, it was a miracle the Canucks only had 3 goals. There are 2 really noteworthy moments in overtime. The first one is Kuzmenko, who, couple of really nice moves, a beautiful pass through the legs, gets a shot on net. It's stopped by the glove of Shesterkin, but it's that iffy part of the glove where it falls back to the ice, and he's going to have a rebound. Shesterkin's out of position. Save of the year. Save of the year. I'm saying it now. That has got to at least be considered. That is unbelievable by Igor Shesterkin. Complete desperation. Beautiful job of following the puck and somehow robbing Kuzmenko. We say that a lot. Oh, he robbed him. No. That is point blank robbery. It's unbelievable. I'm amazed he didn't even get it in just from sheer force. Like, that is stick. That is outstretched arm like this on the ice. There is no way he shouldn't have scored that. But Igor Shesterkin, dazzling play. He had a couple of nice saves in overtime. He made 6 saves in overtime, guys. Didn't even go the full 5 minutes. Amazing save by Igor Shesterkin. And then you have a play that probably should have been a penalty on the Rangers, but we're going to keep moving. Chris Kreider carries into the offensive zone. The Canucks, again, because there definitely should have been a penalty. They're caught lacking. It's a 3-on-1 for the Rangers. Kreider waits. I think it was a really good job, and he's not going to get any love for this play. But Trocheck just zooming into the offensive zone was big here because he couldn't just, I forget which Canuck defender it was, but he couldn't just take away the pass to Miller. He had to worry about Trocheck. That's who he focuses on. Miller, a blast of a one-timer. Ain't missing that. Rangers win it 4-3. So I'm not going to try to spin this game and say that it's a great thing that the Rangers played a really bad game of hockey and managed to win, because that is not the truth. But I'm going to try to convince you that it isn't the worst thing to ever happen. Look, the Rangers to this point have gotten a lot of contribution from a lot of different people up and down the lineup. Having a game like this where a lot of guys, fourth line couldn't get anything going, third line couldn't really get anything going. Honestly, the first and second line, 5-on-5, just kind of couldn't get anything going. The defense looked not great. They gave up a lot of really good shots to the Canucks. The penalty kill looked great. Shocker. What were they, 1 for 6? The Canucks on the power play tonight? Penalty kill is unbelievable. That's just so noted at this point. Everyone's aware of that. But I think there is some sense of trust and confidence that can be built from this game. A lot of the Rangers players who have been big contributors are still younger guys. They're still developing. They're still trying to make sure they find their feet either on this team in the looks of like Gustafsson, Blake Wheeler, those kind of guys, or still developing in the sense of Lafreniere, Kakko, and Hedl, that are still, they're doing good and they're being big parts of this team right now. But having a game where they can't get it going, and the big guys, Adam Fox, the highest paid defenseman on the team, Artemi Panarin, the highest paid winger, Mika Zibanejad, the highest paid center, right? 3 absolute stars of this game managed to find ways to will goals into the back of the net. And then in overtime, you get Keandre Miller. I have been a big Keandre Miller since he got here. I was praising Keandre Miller back the first season I was making these videos when I was talking in an upstairs room with a whiteboard next to me. That's how far my love for Keandre Miller goes. That should be very well noted. But he, who is becoming a star as we watch and before our very eyes, it's a beautiful thing to see him getting a big goal, right? The big guys getting goals. It's important. It can tell the younger guys who are still developing, who are still finding themselves, you don't have to be perfect every night. This was a game where also for the coaching staff to know that, yes, Artemi Panarin is still a game changer. Mika Zibanejad is a game changer. Adam Fox is going to still do that because they hadn't really taken over games to this point. Those guys have had goals, or each individual one has had a moment in a game where they've done it. But as a core, they hadn't really just those 3 taken over a game. And then you go to Igor Shesterkin. A game where he allows 3 goals might not seem like that he took over a game. He took over the first 2 periods of this game. He was unbelievable. The third period, he stuttered a little bit. And I'm not going to say he didn't. But then you get to overtime, especially in overtime. Unbelievable saves. The blocker save, which is going to go completely unappreciated, but that was a really nice save with his blocker because of what he did with his glove twice on one play. This is a game that can boil down to, especially when it comes to overtime, the Rangers won because they had Igor Shesterkin and the other team didn't. and to build confidence for Mika, who hadn't had a goal. To build confidence for Fox, who I don't believe had a goal to this point, or if he did this, he might have only had one. His third goal! Good Lord. How is that his third goal? Apparently his third goal. That did not feel right, so I'm going to have to eat my words on that. But to get another one for Adam Fox, and especially for Shesterkin, who had some really nice saves to this point. He's even had a couple of games, quite a few games, where he's only allowed one goal. But to have a game where he took over like this, especially in OT, it's a confidence builder. It's a confidence builder to know that they still have that dog in them. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you spin a game where your team totally should have lost while getting outplayed offensively and defensively, and somehow, by a miracle, turn it into a positive. Anyway, the Rangers will play again tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern, in Winnipeg to take on the Jets, and that will end the 5-game West Coast Canada road trip. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it, but as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Rangers.